Fantastic. So find a comfortable position where you can settle. Can be seated or lying down. Hi, Marcy. So if you muted and I can't see you, but if that's your choice, that's perfectly fine. We've just started. So as I was saying, we're still working on back bend. So if I don't know how your back is doing, so just take it easy. And as always, just never push it, because this isn't the point. Yoga is meant to be a lifelong practice. And even though we all, including me, I'm all about, I feel the pull towards instant gratification. But unfortunately, there are things that we can't rush or shouldn't. And that's definitely the expansion of finding openness in our bodies. So with this in mind, close your eyes and begin tuning your attention inwards. So I'll mute you for the duration of the practice. And then at the end, I'll ask to unmute you. Simply check in with your body, check in with your energy. How are you feeling today? So nothing sensational needs to happen. You simply take this moment to decide that you will be mindful, that you will be connecting with your breath, and you kind of let go of the day. So simply allow yourself to be and to feel. Moment by moment, becoming more aware of the more subtle sensations in your body, differentiating different layers of sounds. The ones coming from afar, so allow your body to grow still and begin deepening your breath. So notice what it feels like to draw deeper breaths and slow down the exhalations. As we continue working with heart openers, I started thinking, it's all great to open your heart, to let yourself feel, and, all the emotional stuff. But what next? And in the yogic philosophy, in terms of the energy system, after you have opened your heart, it's kind of like you allowed yourself to feel what's there for you. So you kind of begin to recognize the patterns. So why you've been feeling anxious, why you've been feeling frustrated. And for example, what could be that you're feeling frustrated is because of your workload. It's all of a sudden increased and you can't handle it, but you're not really letting yourself feel that. But then once you realize that this is the case, what happens then? So then in the energetic system in yoga, the next step up is the throat, so the center of communication. So back bends are closely linked with the throat chakra, or the communication center. So I would like to focus on that today. So think for a moment if you've had any experiences of having a lump in your throat, or that your voice was just stuck, you couldn't utter something. So today, perhaps you want to adopt this affirmation for the duration of the practice, that I express myself authentically and I speak my own truth, whatever that might be. Just keep it close to you for the duration of the practice. And visualize any blockages leaving the body. So as though like energy or your throat, your neck could expand. So by doing so, by this act of visualization, you manifest that you're ready to let go, or you create an atmosphere of permission. So even if something might not happen immediately, you kind of get accustomed to that idea that you'll be able to let go. So let's take 3 rounds of breath together. So deep inhalation, send it all the way to your belly. And as you exhale through the mouth, let go of whatever has been weighing you down. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. And one more time, breathe into the back of your heart. And let it go with a sigh. And then open your eyes. If you're lying down, bring yourself back into a seated position. We're going to start with QL stretch. So QLs are an important muscle in the body, especially for back bend, because it's the one that joins the iliac crest, so the back of your hip, into your lower ribs. And if you ever suffered with any lower back injuries or like dull pains or aches, maybe that was the area which was tight and weak. So first of all, bring the hand out to the side and reach until you feel that this is enough. So because you want to feel something, you want to stress that part of the body, but you don't want to overdo it. So when you feel like you've reached the sweet spot, stay there, ground through the hips, and then inhale the opposite arm up. So gently firm through the belly and begin to lean to the side. Breathe into the ribs. Keep reaching the hand up. And stay rooted through the legs and the pelvis. One more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, come back to the center. Pause for a moment. Then extend the opposite arm out. And just check how this side is feeling. Remember, each side can feel a lot different. And then breathing in the opposite arm up. And then deepen the stretch if your body is welcoming it. So try to keep length through the spine. So lifting it out of the pelvis, squeezing your core, reaching the hand up and over. And then come back to the center. So let's just do it one more time on each side. Extend and then breathing in, arm up. And then go as deeply as your body's feeling it's appropriate. And then come back to the center. Let's go to the other side. Also begin to notice the other parts of the body, so how your shoulders are feeling, the hips, the legs. So we've been in the seated position for quite a while. And then come back to the center. Extend your arms into a T. If you want to switch the cross of the legs, it's perfectly fine. So reach your hands away. It's a very gentle wrapping of the shoulder blades around your upper back, because this helps you strengthen the rotator cuff muscles. So keep reaching. The arms are firm, and then begin to draw small circles forward or backwards, whatever. We're going to do both sides. And then slightly bigger. Keep reaching the hands away from your shoulders. A bit smaller. And then reverse direction. So start small. Keep reaching the hands away from you. Your core is active. Bigger circles. Feel your arms. Slightly smaller. And then flip your palms up and bring the fingertips down. Bring the arms up. Keep breathing. Extend the arms away from you and maybe experiment with bringing them down, how that stretch feels in the body, in the arms, how it changes. Then bring the arms up and exhaling down. We're going to do one more round. Work with your breath. Inhale back up and exhale down. Okay, release them. Transition over onto all fours. So for cat-cow, start with a neutral spine. And here we're practicing proprioception. So what does it feel like to have a neutral back? So proprioception is your body's ability to gauge where it is in space. So most of the time it's quite easy. So even if you close your eyes, you know your head is where it's supposed to be. But when you go upside down and you do some funky stuff with the legs, then all of a sudden just everything goes out the window. So try to keep a neutral spine, work with the pelvis tilted forward and back just to accentuate the movement that your spine is able to do. And then try to keep the spine more or less straight, so as though you could put a drinks tray on your back. Now moving into cow, so drop your chest forward, lift the chin up and squeeze the muscles in the back. So let's stay here for a moment, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your tailbone up. So feel all that compression in the body. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, push the mat away and round your spine. So press down through the hands and the knees, squeeze your belly and hold. So feel the movement in the spine. And then moving dynamically, inhale, shift forward. And exhale, round your back. 3 more times. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. One more time. And then you can slide into child's pose, or if you want to do a little free flow, so you can roll from side to side or do circles. Close your eyes and feel how your back is responding, how you can deepen the posture by bending your arms, so using your shoulders here as well. And if you close your eyes, you don't worry about what it looks like, but you just focus on how it feels. So 3 rounds of breath, only 3, so make them count. So by doing a little free flow, especially before back bends, can help you monitor what's going on and potentially prevent any unnecessary aches. If you notice that your lower back feels a bit tight, then you know what to focus on. Coming to the center, drop your belly low, so like you're coming into cow pose, but then extend the right leg back and up. So we don't want to be in a core engaged flat back, but actually find that extension of the spine and keep reaching the right leg back. So squeeze the muscles in your back, especially in the lower back, and reach the right foot up. So I always feel when I practice back bends, but that's good, and it clearly indicates that I need to work on this area a bit more. So when you try to lift the leg a bit higher, that's it, as high as you can, just a little bit more, and then bring it down, round your back. That should feel quite nice. Tuck your tailbone under and back to the center, switching sides. So start with dropping your chest and your belly, so you've got that arch, so you concave your back, and then lift the other leg back and up. So here it's not just the glutes, it's not the hamstrings that are lifting the leg, but you want to find the engagement from the muscles here, so from the lower back. So even if it doesn't feel like anything is happening, trust me, it does. And over time, you'll build the muscle memory. So keep reaching the foot as high as you can. Try to keep the leg straight. Breathe. And if you notice you're running out of breath, just try to deepen it. Just lift it a bit higher and then bring it down. Round your back. Grab your block. If you don't have one, it's perfectly fine. You don't need it. Hips stay over the knees. Extend your arms forward. Keep the thumbs fairly close as you drop the forehead down for puppy pose. If you feel quite open and you want to use a block, and it's the same principle, you just keep the hands on the block. Wrap the shoulder blades around your upper back and breathe. Try to surrender to whatever you're experiencing. Drop the armpits down. Your pelvic floor is active. And then slowly lift yourself up. Walk your hands in. Knees as wide as the mat and slide your hips down. For wild-legged child's pose, extend your arms towards the short edge of the mat and then drop your forehead down. Keep focusing on rooting down through the hips, bringing the buttocks to the heels and lengthen through the spine. And inhale, come back to all fours. So I've got a surprise for you. It's not a nice one. So we're going to come back to the leg extended, but start with your toes tucked. Then going to lift the leg up. The other foot can be pointing, up to you. You need to brace your core, push from the shoulders as you lift up into three-legged dog, and then gently come back. So you move with control. So here you're incorporating, keeping the activation in the lower back, but also pushing from the shoulders, so inviting stabilization. Without further ado, so you inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, slowly come back, the right leg is lifted. That's it. Inhale up, extend through the right leg. Exhale down. We've got three more. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Breathe in and out. One more time. And slowly descend. Let's switch the sides. So right toes are tucked. Lift the left leg and notice how that feels. When you're ready, prepare, squeeze your core, push from the shoulders and lift up, three-legged dog. Exhale, come down. Let's do it 4 more times. Breathe in and breathe out. 3. Calm down. 2. Descend. And 1. Come back to all fours. Slide back for child's pose. This time keep the knees together and bring the arms behind you. Draw your belly button closer to the spine. And feel the length across the back. Inhale, lift up, come to sitting on your heels. I'm going to move through a little flow. So into a kind of like a camel, but extending arms back or up and then slowly coming down. So your forehead doesn't need to reach, but kind of bring the shoulders forward and down, using the core to come down, But when you lift up, you want to have the knees as wide as your hips, and you push the hips forward, but instead of focusing on coming back, you want to lift your chest up. So your arms are the extension. And once you've got the length through the spine, then you can focus on hooking the shoulder blades against the back of your ribs and then slowly descend. So as we're still warming up, really pay attention how your body's feeling and try to find and maximize the space between the vertebrae. Okay, so let's do it together. Starting on the heels, prepare. And then breathing in, rise up, reaching your hands up to the sky, finding as much length through the front of the body. Exhale, bring it down. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Breathe in, rise. And then exhale, come down. Lengthen both inhale and exhale. Breathe in. And out. 3 more times. You can deepen the pose now. Inhale. Keep lifting the sternum, but extend the arms behind you. And exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale, come down. So inhale, come back up. Bring the hands in front of you. Step your right foot between the hands. Or if you want to, you can slightly walk it out to create a bit more space if you know your hips are tight. And then inhale, easy, come up. You can allow the hands to rest on the knee. Slide your hips forward and down. And then bring the hands to the sides of the body. And as though you could lift your spine out of the pelvis. So you want to mimic that action that you would do with your breath, because it's the breath that helps you find length through the body. So then maybe bring the hands at your heart and lift your sternum, your breastbone up. So already roll the shoulders back and down. And with each inhalation, feel the gentle lift of your chest. Maybe you extend the arms over the head, again, extending the entire body. And maybe it feels good to come into your back bend with the arms extended. If at any point this gets too much, you can still cultivate the back bend, keep your hands at the heart. So we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Try to move up. And if you notice any discomfort or any quizziness, you can always come out, breathe through it. And then slowly bring the hands at the heart into a straight line. Frame the foot and step back into plank. Squeeze the legs together, push the mat away, and whichever way you like, come down all the way to your belly. Hands by your low ribs. Inhale into cobra. Squeeze the muscles in the back. And then exhale, make your way into down dog. Left foot between the hands, drop the right knee down. So low lunge, opening through the front of the right hip. And as you lift up, just notice how things are. You don't have to immediately drop. Do it gradually. Work with the breath. Notice how your body and breath are responding when you encounter a challenge. Again, lift your spine, lift the chest up so the back of the heart is pushing forward and up. Maybe hands at your heart. Drag your hips forward and down. Maybe extend the arms over the head, accentuating the length all the way from the top of the right thigh, through the hip flexors, through the chest. And then maybe you bring the arms behind you, keeping some mild activation of the core. And if there's any compression in the lower back, you want to come out. Just one more round of breath. It's all good. Bring the hands at the heart. Bring your spine into a straight line and coming into plank with the knees up or down. You're cool. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale into the back bend of your choice, so cobra or upward dog. And then exhale into down dog. Then one more time, step your right foot forward, drop the left knee down and rise up. This time interlace the fingers behind you. You can keep the heels of the hands together or apart. Be mindful of what's happening in the shoulders. If they're tight, they might not appreciate if you force them. Then extend the arms back and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Stay here, pushing the chest forward and up, or you can drop the head back. Breathe into your heart. Slide your hips forward and down. And just notice how exposed you are right now in this position. Then bring the hand back. Release the arms gently. There are two options. You can bring the left hand down, bend the left leg, and grab hold of the foot with the right hand, bring it close towards your bum. If you know you've got that opening through the leg, you bend it and grab hold of it with the left hand. So it's called King Arthur pose, apparently. So wherever you are, try to relax through the front of the left hip. If you're in King Arthur pose, try to square your chest and drop the hips forward and down. Then inhale, gently release. Then exhale, shift forward and down. If your body doesn't want you to do it, just stay where you are and breathe. And one more time. So release and then sink. Without slingshotting the foot, let go of it. And then step back into downward dog. Notice the difference in the legs. And we're stepping the left foot between the hands. Right knee down. And inhale, open through the chest. Interlace the fingers. This time the other index finger is on top, which should feel a bit awkward. That helps you link both hemispheres of the brain. And again, check how your shoulders are feeling. Roll them back and down and then extend. See how much you can drop them. Opening and broadening through the collarbones. Try to find a balance between effort and ease. And then very gently release the arms. And then check which option you want to go for on this side. So both sides can feel a lot different. So just be mindful of it. If you're going for the more accessible one, bring the right hand down. And the more you can drop your hips down, the more accessible it will be to grab hold of the foot. In this version, it depends also on the shoulders. So if you're in the higher version, bring the foot close towards your bum and drop your hips low. Then inhale, gently release. Exhale, keep bringing it forward and down. One more time. Then let go of the leg. Step back into plank. And then exhale, chaturanga, and lower down all the way down. If you haven't got a block, you can come into Sphinx. So gentle activation through the legs, drag the chest forward and up, pressing down through the forearms. If you have a block, just bring it fairly close to the bottom of your ribs, and you can place the elbows there, lifting the chest up. So you should really feel the mid-back activating. stay here and breathe. It's not a trick pose. This one is the one you can actually catch your breath for a minute or two. Keep focusing on the length through the spine. The top of your head is the extension of your spine. Gently press the tops of the feet down. If you want to, you can bring the hands onto the block and begin to extend the arms. Try to relax your glutes and find as much space between the vertebrae as you can. If there's any pinching in the lower back, you don't want to do that. All the while you're breathing calmly. And then slowly, super slowly bring yourself all the way down. Get rid of the block if you were using it. And transition over onto your back. I can't promise it will be relaxing, but it will help you build some strength and dynamic flexibility. So we're starting in bridge. So feet more or less parallel and fairly close to your bum, arms beside you. Work with the pelvis, so tilting it back and forward. So if you tilt your pelvis forward, you create space underneath your lower back so you can slide your hand. But if you tilt it back, you minimize this gap. So I can't slide my hand in there anymore. So just have a little play, because that movement in the pelvis, so tilting it forward and back, is very important in the back bend. And it also makes you think about what's actually happening inside your body that facilitates certain movements. So this is the nice part. And also, if you ever feel like there's something a bit iffy with your back, then you can start with those like small movements so you don't aggravate something, but you can kind of put your finger on what might be wrong. Okay. Arms beside you, press down through the feet, and as you inhale, tilt the pelvis back and begin to peel your tailbone and your sacrum off the mat, pushing the hips forward and up towards the ceiling. Gently squeeze your thighs together and hold. Relax your face and your jaw. And whilst you're holding the pose, so you're using your muscles, try to find some ease. So when you're able to do that in less challenging poses, then you can translate that same balance between effort and ease into more challenging poses. So shift your hips forward and up, just high towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, gently bring it down one vertebra at a time, and then pause. So if you want to, you can just do this version or interlace the fingers and deepen the posture. Or what we're going to do is shift the left foot into the center. It will help you balance, and then bend right leg. So we're in a one-legged bridge. You can probably feel it already. We're going to exhale and drop the hips down, keeping the right leg up. And then inhale, lift the hips up. So twice more. Slowly bring it down. And then inhale, lift it up. One more time. Inhale to open up. And then release. Grab hold of your right leg, so behind the right thigh. If you can grab it high on your calf, then it's great too. And begin to draw the leg closer to you. If it feels okay, you can extend through the left leg, finding some activation in the right thigh, drawing your belly button closer to your spine. Breathe. 2 more rounds of breath here. And then let go of the right leg. So bend both legs, feet are down. And we lift up into bridge. And this time right foot is in the center. And lift the left leg up. So work with what you've got. If this doesn't feel okay today, just lift up and down in normal bridge. So as you exhale, slowly bring the hips down. And inhale, shift them up. 3 more times. Gently bring it down. And with the breath, feel that lift. Exhale, release. And 1 more time, lift up. Exhale to let go. And then extend through the left leg, grab hold of it wherever you can. And settle here. At any point you want, you can extend through the right leg, press down through the right heel. So there's some activation through the right leg. Release any engagement through the shoulders, through your face. 1 more deep round of breath here. And release your leg. So roll yourself up and crossing over the legs, step into downward facing dog. So stay here for a moment. Invite any movement that feels good or necessary to release through the body. I'm going to get my mic up. And breathe. And slowly begin to walk your feet towards your hands, bending the legs if you need to. And as you exhale, fold over. So your shoulders, your arms are relaxed. You can tuck your chin towards your chest or shake it. Yes, yes, no, no. Just to make sure your entire upper body is loose. So feel that length through the spine. If you want to, you can slide from side to side. Again, exploring any sensations in the lower back. And then inhale, lift up halfway, hands on shins or fingertips down. Squeeze your core, squeeze the muscles in the back, and exhale, fold. Bending legs generously as you inhale, roll yourself all the way up, sweeping the arms over the head. And exhale, drop them to the sides. Come to the top of the mat if you're not there already. The next breath in, sweep your arms over the head, look up. And as you exhale, leading with the chest, fold over the legs. Again, bend them if you need to. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, step your right leg all the way back. Drop your right knee down. So in low lunge. Breathing in, sweep your arms over the head. Maybe come into a gentle back bend. And as you exhale, tuck your back toes. Make your way into down dog. Inhale, step the right foot between the hands. Drop the left knee down. With your next breath in, rise up. Open through the heart and the throat. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step back into plank with the knees up or down your core. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Roll the shoulders back and down. And exhale into down dog. Walk, step or jump your feet towards your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale, fold. Breathing in extended mountain. Maximize the space between the vertebrae. And exhale, arms down. So we're going to go again. And that was the more accessible version with the knees down. If you want to do it, it's fine. I'm going to show the version that you land in high lunge, which is an option as well. See how you feel. Try to work with the breath. If you need to spend a little bit longer in the pose so that you move with the right breath. So for example, in inhalation, it's fine. That's how you learn how to synchronize the breathing with what you're doing. Okay, from the top of the mat, arms down, Tadasana Samastiti. Breathing in, extended mountain. And exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step the right leg back, knee up or down. Sink your hips low. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back bend if you wish. Inhale, bring the hands down. Exhale, step into down dog. Inhale, right foot between the hands, knee up or down. Breathing in, rise up, press down through the feet. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, bring the hands down. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale into down dog. Inhale, step, walk or jump your feet to your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Breathing in, rise up, extend through the body. And exhale, coming home into Tadasana. So one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right leg back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink or back bend. Inhale, bring the hands down. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot between the hands. Land. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, center, bring the hands down. And exhale, plank and chaturanga. Inhale, open through the front of the body. And exhale, down dog. 3 rounds of breath. If you want to drop down into child's pose, it's perfectly fine. Just feel your breath. Hear your breath. And then everyone drop the knees down. Come into sitting on your heels. So quickly move through steps into Ustrasana or the camel pose, which is, some say it's an advanced back bend, some say it isn't, it's intermediate. I'd say that it depends on the day. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it feels easy for me when, you know, I've been practicing for over many years, and sometimes it's not. So it's the same principle like with any other pose, that yoga begins where we are today, not where we were yesterday or where we long to be. So just honor how you feel. The back bends can bring up some emotions. You know, you might be feeling a bit like panicky because of the stimulation to the kidneys, so the adrenal glands. So you put in a fight or flight response. But as it's a controlled environment, you get to choose partially what to do. So use your breath, keep it deep and long when you're in the pose. So now with all this information and gear, you can attempt Ustrasana. So you're going to start with the toes tucked, because this way you've got that extra bit of power of pushing down through the feet, pushing the hips forward. And like we did at the during the practice, during the warm-up, focus on lengthening through the front of the body, lifting the chest and spine out of the pelvis, and then you drop the shoulders back and down. So with this in mind, you can keep the hands there on the side or press the thumbs into the sacrum and breathe. If it feels okay, you can bring one hand down to the heel and then the other without sacrificing the arch you've created with your spine. So just for now, keep the head up-ish and breathe. Then bring one hand to the hip, then the other, and slowly bring yourself back to sitting on the heels. Allow the spine to settle, always stay in a symmetrical pose, just so the body can be like, okay, like it's all good. So the key here is to find that pelvic tilt. So we want to find the tilt backwards so we can lift up and we're not creating any compression in the lower back. So it's the same. It would be easier to keep the knees wide and do that, but if you open your legs out, then what happens here is that there is this rolling in action which creates compression, and you don't want to do that. So whilst it's harder to keep a narrow stance, it does really a lot of good for the lower back. So let's try another option. If you found the one with the toes tucked, like it challenged you, then stay with it. If you want to, we're going to try it with the feet flat. So try to think of rolling the thighs in. So it's one of the things that you look, nothing really happens, you're not really feeling much, but it already translates to broadening through the sacrum and thus keeping your lower back, you know, happy. When you're ready to begin, bring the thumbs into the sacrum and push it forward. So already begin to lift through the sternum up and notice how that feels. Try to create as much length through the belly, through the chest, and hook the shoulder blades against the back of the ribs. Try to release through the buttocks, so we don't want to squeeze the glutes unless you feel some pinching. Can either stay here or drop one hand to the heel and then the other. Once you've landed, then you want to re-establish the push forward of your pelvis and your chest. If you want to open through the throat, you drop the head back. You want to stay here for 3 rounds of breath. If, however, you need to come out, then bring the hands on the hips and with the strength of your core, in one motion, return to sitting on the heels. Okay? When you're ready to come out, squeeze your core, come to sitting on your heels. So if you've got it for one more, we're going to do it one more. If you don't want to, stay in child's pose, ideally with the knees together, so you can lengthen through the back. So with back bends, it's not, well, if you are born naturally bendy, it's great, but what's the fun in it? But it's all about squeezing the muscles in the back. So if you come into a child's pose, you help to lengthen through that area. If you want to try again, so pick your poison or your treatment. Yeah, let's focus on positive connotations. Feet flexed or flat, and lift out through the spine, lift the chest up. Gentle squeeze of the deep core muscles to stabilize through the pelvis. Stay for a couple of breaths. Maybe you drop the head back. If it feels good to go deeper, one hand down at the time. And then push the hips forward, lift the chest up. Remind yourself that everything's okay. Keep your breath deep and long wherever you are. One more round of breath. And then one hand on the hip, then the other. Keep the head where it is, and with the strength of your core, slowly bring yourself back, then lift your head up. Stay here, close your eyes. Feel the energy you've created in the body. Maybe you're feeling glad it's over. It's perfectly fine. And then everyone drop down into child's pose. Keep the knees together if you can. If you can't, apart. If you need a bit of extra length, so bring the floor closer to you, you can use a block or your hands like a pillow. If, however, everything feels good, you can just drop down. So sometimes after all this activation in the backline of your body, it doesn't feel good instantly or, at first to come into child's pose. But it's really essential that you do that to lengthen through this area. And then inhale, rise up, slide to the side, bring the legs in front of you. Going to come into a gentle forward fold or a deeper one if you feel like it's okay. You can stay with the legs bent and squeeze the legs underneath, so clasping the opposite elbow. You can bring the legs closer, drop the head down. So rounding through the back. Breathe into the back of your heart, into the sides of your body. And you can either stay here or come into Paschimottanasana. So forward fold with the legs extended, feet are flexed. It's entirely your call. Feel what your body wants rather than, forcing yourself to do something. Long spine, reach towards your feet. If you can grab them, it's great. If not, it's also great. And then begin to minimize the gap between your belly and the top of the thighs. So your core is active, your pelvic floor is active, so we lengthen, but we're not straining the lower back. If you want to, you can grab hold of your big toes and come into a deeper fold. Meet yourself where you are and practice santosha. It's the contentment that we seek, and being wherever we are, that what you do is good enough. And then inhale, slowly rise up. Cross your right leg and bring it over the left. So then with the left arm, wrap around your right thigh. Your right hand goes behind you, stay on the fingertips, and press your torso, your belly to the thigh as you twist and look over the right shoulder. The left foot is flexed. Focus on lengthening through the lower back. Then inhale to the center. Switch the legs. So start with the left one bent. Cross it over. Just notice how that feels, whether it needs to be further away or a bit closer. Then lift your chest up. So wavelength through the spine. Wrap your right arm around. And then left hand goes behind you. So you press down through the fingertips. They again accentuate the lift and a little bit of a forward pelvic tilt. So after back bends, first you neutralize the spine in a symmetrical pose so everything can settle. So kind of like you let the dust settle. And then if you do the twist, they help to neutralize all the hard work that you've put in. So especially lengthen the muscles that support the lower back. Breathing in, return to the middle. And then whichever way you like, transition onto your back for your final Shavasana. So grab layers, turn the lights off, put a jumper on, all that jazz, have a bit of water. So do whatever you can to make this experience quite indulgent, like you won't be bothered by thirst or, I hate it when my feet are cold, that kind of thing. If there's any particular position your body's craving right now, can you feel comfortable settling in and go for it? Bring your awareness to your heart and your throat. And with each inhalation, imagine this area expanding. So as you breathe in, you might feel the rising and falling of the chest. Maybe able to feel the gentle vibrations of your breath. And notice how your back feels. So the more you practice yoga, that's all I can really vouch for, the more you experience that embodied awareness of your body. So not only what your body does in space or the movement, but also how things feel like. So you might notice sensations you hadn't before, or you might become aware of layers of sensations. Unfortunately, usually refers to pain of something isn't right, but you might notice that sometimes after a practice, a certain area of the body is flooded with sensations, or it's kind of like fresh energy. So just sit with it and explore, breathe. And in the next few quiet moments, allow the body to simply assimilate all the benefits of the practice. Start bringing awareness back into your physical body, your room. Invite any movement that feels intuitive, but not particularly disruptive. So the stillness, the peace you've created in your body, hopefully your breath and your mind, you want to carry it with you. So when you're ready, roll over onto one side. Spend a moment there, simply feeling, noticing any gross or subtle sensations in the physical body, the flow of your breath, and your headspace. When you feel ready, bring yourself up into a comfortable seat, and you can unmute yourself if you wish. So we can share the final chant together to close the space. So return to your seat and just for a moment close your eyes, bringing the hands at the heart. So drop your awareness to feel the expansion you've created. Feel wholesome and united. And let's close the practice with one round of Om. So take a deep breath in. Gently bow your head, expressing thanks for your body, yourself for carving out the time to be here. And open your eyes. Thank you very much for your practice with me today. Namaste. I hope you're feeling fabulous. If you need to go, thank you very much for coming. You can always email me if you've got any questions. If you want to stay and chat, it's perfectly fine. So if anyone's got any questions, everyone.
I've got my dinner ready waiting.
Oh, that's fine. I'll go. I'm thanking Magda from the past. I cooked my dinner, so it's ready now. I don't need to do much. I can just reheat it. So go, Magda from the past. So thanks for coming, Marcy. I'll message you.
It was really relaxing.
Good. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's lovely to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. Bye. Cool. Bye, Rosie. Bye, Jack. Any questions? Any thoughts? Yes, and I loved it. I was trying really hard not to laugh because all I could see was this cat like just emerging, just hijacking the camera. So it was amazing. Probably just a sabotage. Lovely seeing you, Nelly. I'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, thank you, Meg.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.